Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw Report for the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the 14th of the month of June 2021. Yet again, this show is abysmal. Yet again, this show is uh, could be cut down to 90. Hmm. I don't even know. Uh, Maybe 90 minutes, and that would be a good thing. I don't necessarily know why. Well, I do know why. From a business perspective, they make more money when they do 3 hours. But good gosh, do they really need to do this to their audience? Anyway, show recap beginning with Alexa Bliss opened the show. She's on the playground. She uh, receives uh, some strong words about what Lily did last week. Why are we treating Lily like Chucky? Who knows? After Bliss said WWE's headed on the road soon, she was giving Lily a time out. Nia Jax shows up and Bliss acted concerned. For Shayna Baszler, Jax then tells her that Baszler would see her at Hell in a Cell. Bliss is excited. Jax uh, told her to shut up and asked what happened to the real Alexa Bliss, the one who used to be her friend. Bliss said that they were never friends. Jax challenged her to a match. Bliss pretended to be upset before giggling and accepting the match. This is complete horse hockey. The announcers run down the rest of tonight's card, which is now including Rhea Ripley against Asuka. At least that could be fun. Charlotte tells Sarah that she still wants her loss to Nikki Cross scratched from the record books, and on Sunday she would remind Rhea Ripley who ran the women's division on Raw. Nikki Cross defeats Charlotte Flair in just under 8 minutes. Ripley entered to her music, and there's a distraction that allows Cross to apply a schoolboy for a near fall. Charlotte takes over and controls through a commercial break, which of course happens because we don't actually want new talent to get over. I love Charlotte Flair, but at the same time, Nikki Cross has been incognito for part of the year and underused the rest. Cross comes back with a tornado DDT, and she tries a crossbody off of the apron to the outside. Charlotte then catches her, and Charlotte holds her in position for about a quarter of a minute while mocking Cross and Ripley before hitting a fallaway slam. Cross snaps back into the ring. Charlotte confronts Ripley, and Charlotte isn't paying enough attention and is counted out. Charlotte is angry about this and attacks Cross. Ripley makes the save and lays her out with a riptide. So apparently that's the way we get angles over in 2021. And then we go Riddle speaking to Jeff Hardy backstage. Hardy has become has been on a great team and depended on trust. He advised Riddle to listen to Orton. Exactly why is Jeff Hardy ultimately giving advice about Orton when Orton's a heel and Riddle's a babyface and nobody cares. Anyway, Riddle began talking about wanting to have a band with Rick Boggs and Xavier Woods and maybe even Orton on the piano. This is weird. Anyway, Riddle realized that Hardy is gone. Orton shows up and advised Riddle not to be like him, just be himself. Whatever that is, Riddle wondered if that meant Orton liked him. Orton says no. We go into the next match, which is John Morrison with The Miz defeating Jeff Hardy in 2 3/4 minutes. Morton sprays Hardy in the face with his dripstick. Yes, I actually said those words. Hardy has this done to him during the entrance, and then the referee thought this was a good way to begin the match. Cedric Alexander entered to his music, and less than a minute into the match, and this also happened in the previous match in case anyone's counting at home. There's a quick back and forth for Morrison. He wins with Starship Pain pretty quickly. Morrison um, acknowledges that there may be some sort of injury or something anyway. Uh, Alexander ranted Hardy after the match, calling him disrespectful and that he's a sore winner. That doesn't really make sense. Alexander is sorry that he didn't kick his tail into the retirement home. Also doesn't make sense. Why do we want something negative there? So Jeff Hardy defeats Cedric Alexander in just under 3 minutes. Alexander countered a twist of fate into a Michinoku driver. Alexander then tries a swanton from the top. Hardy moves out of the way, and then there's a neutralizer attempt. After hitting a swanton for a pinfall win, Hardy doesn't have to retire, even though a retirement step on a show like this would mean absolutely nothing. But what does WWE do that means anything now anyway? Piper Niven, which I guess she's been gone for a while, because she's a name I don't remember saying in several a month. She dominates the match with Eva Marie, defeating Naomi in just over a minute. Eva entered and Niven comes out, but the announcers are confused. And then I guess Marie is now a manager. Announcers have no idea who Niven was, even though she worked for the company for several years. Niven wins the match, and Eva Marie announces herself as the winner. Niven hugs her, but Marie didn't seem too thrilled about the contact in any way. Anyway, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are doing a photo shoot, but they become annoyed when Natty Neidhart and Tamina make their way out. They're training in a ring nearby. Natalya told them they were too concerned with how they looked. Rose and Brooks worked hard, but Natalya and Tamina were only in their position because of their last names. They get into a brawl, and off we go into the second hour. This is complete trash. Anyway, Kevin Patrick interviewed Drew McIntyre, who referred to Bobby Lashley as trashy, and then says he's ready for AJ Styles tonight. He says that Scots were known for being master strategists and compared himself to William Wallace. He goes into a long history lesson and assured us that he's cold and calculated plan and would result in becoming the champion again. Riddle and Randy Orton defeat Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods in 21 and 3/4 minutes. What a long match this was, but they filled good time with good wrestling for a change, which doesn't happen in WWE much these days. New Day controlled the first few minutes of the match and used their mind games to psych out their opponents. That goes to the break. Woods and Riddle trade elbow strikes after the break, but Riddle catches Woods with a running knee strike and a fisherman suplex for near fall. Orton then tagged in and flipped Riddle into Woods before taking over by working the arm. Riddle then tags in and tries an armbar. Woods then keeps blocking the armbar. Orton tags in and decides just to stomp away at Woods. Woods manages to tag in Kingston, who hits Orton with a drop kick and a jumping clothesline and the boom drop. Riddle distracts Kingston for just a minute, and Orton has enough time to recover, ducking a Trouble in Paradise for his trouble, no pun intended there. Riddle tags in and hits kicks and a suplex and a knee strike and a floating bro. Orton goes after Woods, and Kingston kicks out of the cover that Woods is trying to break up. Riddle tags in Orton and hits Riddle tagged back in and hits kicks and a knee strike, and then after the break, Woods gives Riddle a superplex, which I remember that when that move was a finish. Anyway, Kingston follows up with a frog splash, but Orton breaks up with the move and then breaks up the cover. Kingston then sends Orton out of the ring. Riddle nails him with a Pele kick. Woods tagged in. Riddle gives him a Northern Light suplex for a near fall. Orton then gives Woods a Riddle-assisted powerbomb, almost like the Shield used to do back in the day, for a near fall. Woods comes in and gets saved from a draping DDT. Orton tags in Riddle. Woods blocks a German suplex and gets Riddle on his shoulders, and Kingston nails a flying foot stomp and a close near fall. Orton tags himself back in and tried an RKO, but Woods counters it. Woods then goes for the honor roll, but Orton catches him with an RKO for a pinfall win. Riddle is happy with all of this. Backstage, Schneider asks Ripley about Charlotte. Ripley then says Charlotte should be focused on their match later, and she's too worried about her bruised ego. Ripley then thought it would be funny watching someone so powerful crumble, and then she planned on sending Charlotte to the back of the line. Then we go into Ripley and Asuka, and Ripley beats Asuka in just over 11 minutes. Decent match. They wrestle back and forth. Ripley catches Asuka, dropping her on the barricade on the outside of the ring. And then they go to a break. Asuka's in control when we return. Ripley fights her off and into a moment. Asuka nails a missile drop kick. Asuka follows up with a knee strike and a clothesline for near fall, and then a running hip attack for more of her own trouble. Ripley comes back in with a Northern Lights suplex, and Asuka comes back with a back fist, German suplex, and a sliding kick by Asuka. Asuka then tries a roll up, and Ripley counters into a standing clover leaf for her trouble. Asuka then slips out, and Ripley ducks and hits a few strikes before the Riptide pinfall to win. Not a bad match overall. Charlotte then attacks Ripley post-match. Ripley fights out, and they brawl. Officials break everything up. Charlotte then has a bloody nose somewhere in here. Then we think there's an F-bomb dropped because there's sensors during the brawl. Kevin Patrick comes into a private room with Bobby Lashley and MVP, who once again is joined by some women. This seems to be a recurring theme. MVP calls Patrick rude for not addressing the champ properly. Patrick then asks if he has any idea why McIntyre had to face Styles tonight. And then MVP didn't know why, but did say Lashley was off because it's a perk of being the champion. Lashley grabs the mic and says that he's publicly execute McIntyre before mounting his head on a stick. That's the fate of William Wallace, in case anybody cared. Alexa Bliss defeats Nia Jax in just under 4 minutes. Bliss wears makeup on her face, and I guess that's to go along with the eyeshadow and all that. Bliss shrieks at Jax before hitting a DDT and twisted Bliss. Bliss has it won, but Reginald, who came out with Nia Jax, comes in and causes a DQ. Bliss stares down at Reginald, who's backing off. Maybe he's hypnotized, maybe he's mesmerized, maybe he's in a really bad gimmick. Ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner, that's it. MVP approaches the New Day. MVP pretended he didn't know Woods' name. MVP says Kofi Mania is dead, and he should know why. Kingston mocked him because he knew MVP was going to say that, and he only had himself to blame. MVP then said no, it's because of Woods. Woods gets pinned tonight, and that meant Kingston is still a loser. Woods tells MVP to hurry up because he's got to get home and put water in his mama's dish. I don't understand. Anyway, Kingston tells MVP to back off unless he wants his teeth knocked out of his face. And then Kingston said that he's only accomplished what he has because of his brothers. MVP agreed to back off and wished them luck on Sunday, before reminding Kingston he didn't even have a match on Sunday. Jason Riker defeated Elias in 2.5 minutes. Riker does a pre-tape promo stating that Elias is the one holding him back. Camera zoomed in on his eyes as he spoke. Guess we're supposed to be scared or something. Last week, Riker wins by countout after Elias decided to run away. And the announcers are annoyed by this happening again a second time. Hell in a Cell video package, which I can't imagine anyone caring about. Just another special. And William Regal addresses his future on NXT tomorrow. McIntyre enters for his match after the break. They plug NXT and run down the Hell in a Cell card. Lashley's music hit, and he enters with MVP and friends to watch from the VIP lounge on the stage. Almost stays in the lounge. Styles gets him to come to ringside. And then basically we go 13 and a half minutes with this particular Drew McIntyre defeating AJ Styles with almost by DQ. McIntyre hits a Future Shock DDT early in the match but doesn't get the victory. Instead, he teases Lashley, which causes Lashley to go to ringside. Lashley doesn't get to try anything as the Viking Raiders enter and cut him off. And they do this right before going to a break. So somebody's music hits in the back about every third segment, it appears. McIntyre's in full control. When we come back from the break, Styles dumps him from the ring and sends him into the post. McIntyre fights back with a jawbreaker. Styles hits a Pele kick. McIntyre follows up with a clothesline. McIntyre uses a suplex for near fall. McIntyre then hits a Michinoku driver. And that's the third or fourth time we've seen that particular move tonight. Styles comes back with a fireman's carry neck breaker for near fall. And then McIntyre dumps him from the ring. And then out we go. McIntyre gets decked with a punch. McIntyre hits a flying clothesline. Lashley jumps him for the DQ. Viking Raiders attack Lashley. And then we go into, because we don't know how to book decent stuff, we go into a schmoz match. Viking Raiders and Drew McIntyre defeat Lashley with MVP, AJ Styles, and Almost in 13:40. So basically the last half hour is two matches that are just sloppily put together. Lashley's in the back as the match starts because he needed to change into his wrestling gear. At least this makes logical sense. This part makes sense anyway. Lashley comes in control until Ivar makes a hot tag and runs wild on the champ for just a moment or two. Lashley gives him a spine buster. Eric breaks up a cover and kicks Lashley in the face. Pretty snugly, actually. Styles takes Eric out. McIntyre takes out Styles, and Lashley takes out McIntyre. Almost tags in and nails Ivar with a shoulder tackle and knocks him off his feet. Lashley then hits and has his team in control. Ivar fights off Styles, and then we see tagging in McIntyre. Styles tags in Almost, and McIntyre and Almost have a big stare down, so apparently we're going for a program there. Almost grabs him, and McIntyre kicks Almost repeatedly in the leg. Almost shoves him off, and Styles tags himself in. McIntyre gives Styles 3 suplexes of the overhead variety in a row. Lashley distracts the referee and yanks McIntyre down by the hair. Almost then tosses Ivar and Eric over the barricade. Styles tags Lashley instead of Almost, which is weird. Catches Lashley off guard and turns around into a Claymore kick, and McIntyre pins him. McIntyre yells at Lashley, and the show ends. The announcers try to act like Styles tagging Lashley was a mistake, but that's not how it visually appeared. Anyway, another 3 hours completely wasted, and, well, everyone should be sad. We'll be back with more right after this.